Alright, hey guys, Simon here. So I'm gonna be playing Need for Speed Hot Pursuit, but not really. Well, I am, but I'm not gonna make a video series out of it. I'm just gonna talk about my experience with moving over to the new computer, I guess. Not sure if I have that much to say. I might just ramble on for like hours and hours. I'm not sure how this is gonna go. But it's nice to play this game in higher frame rates and at higher resolutions. Because, it's kind of difficult to drive a car at 10 frames a second. But now that we can drive it at like maybe 20 frames a second, it's actually a lot easier. So, I've played this before on the old computer, right? So I've unlocked a few of these races. So I've gotten gold on some of these and like bronze there, right? So basically I've gotten to the limit of how far I can get while driving at 10 frames a second. I can't beat these races with those really crap frame rates. So I'm going to try some of these now to see if better frame rates actually makes me a better driver. Or we might find out that I'm just a bad driver regardless of the frame rates, which will be kind of sad, but there you go. Alright, let's just start racing and I'll think of something to say as we go. So, wait a minute, what's going on there? Right there. So, if you don't know the story, I've moved from a 4-year-old laptop to a new one, and this one is pretty good. Actually, which car do I want? I think I want the faster acceleration. Oh, this car's better overall anyway. Alright, let's select this one. I haven't played this game for a while. Hopefully I can get this. Oh, that's right, it's raining. I'll probably just crash a lot trying to talk and then race at the same time. So the old computer, I could record the playback, which means that I can talk into the mic and then have the game sound coming out of the speakers as well, and then I can just record that as one audio stream in DxTory. Whereas with this computer, apparently I don't have that option anymore. So now the game sound is on one stream, the microphone sound is another stream, and so okay, let's just get into it. So we're driving this car with a keyboard. Alright. Yeah, no, I play Rusty. So and then after I've recorded the thing, okay, there we go, that's pretty bad. So after I've recorded the thing, I need to go back and go into Audacity and combine the two streams and then re-export that as an audio thing and then use that in Virtual Dub and then put that back into a processed video. So it's actually it's a bit more work for me to process the audio with this setup, but at the same time it gives me a slightly more control over the balance between the game audio and the microphone audio, which I couldn't, there wasn't much control over that in the previous setup. But now, for example, some games they'll have really loud cutscenes for unknown reasons, like the cutscenes volume will not be balanced. I'm so bad at driving. And so then what I would have to do is, because my voice and whoa, what happened there? Because my voice and the game audio was in the same stream, I would have to stop talking during the loud cutscenes, and then manually reduce the volume on the cutscenes, and then I'll start talking again after the cutscene's over. But what happens now is, even if the cutscenes are really loud, I can just edit that and reduce the volume on that, and then keep talking over it. Because the voice is a different stream, I can maintain that at the same volume throughout and then just reduce the cutscene volume on the game audio stream. And I don't know if that makes sense to you guys, but basically it just gives me a bit more control over the audio, but at the same time it requires a bit more work to process every single video like that, to combine the streams and then re-render it. But I don't really mind. I don't really mind that. Whoa, frame rates. So what are we doing now? We're like 22 frames a second, sometimes dropping to 18 or 19, which is fine. Which is much better than 10. I'm also... oh, there's the car in front of us. Let's see if we can burn a little bit. I don't know how far away the finish line is. Alright, let's... okay, I didn't see that one. I did not see that car at all. Let's see if we can catch up and beat this guy. Probably can't. Alright, so let's... So Windows 8, I guess I have a few things to say about Windows 8 and the Metro, the quote-unquote Metro interface. Not a huge fan of it. I think what they basically did was they took a design for a phone interface and they tried to put that on a PC. That seems like what it means. Like, it seems like what they did, because the thing about what they're doing is like, I don't know if they're competing against the iPhone or the iPad or what, but I mean, if you look at the phone interfaces, they're designed for like really... Damn, I'm gonna lose this now. Yeah, I'm gonna lose this. They're designed for really small screens, right? And so they have these massive buttons, they're massive icons on these small screens, and it makes sense on a small screen because you have a fat finger and you're trying to, you know, press these buttons using a fat finger on these tiny little screens, and of course you need a large button for that. Okay, am I gonna make it? Yes, I am. I'm gonna make it. Ah, pwned. Yeah, okay. So this game is a lot easier on higher frame rates. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know if you guys have an iPhone or an Android, but the idea is you have a screen, a fairly small screen, and then you have these kind of buttons on it, and you have apps which are like applications except smaller. So they're not even applications, as apps. So they're small applications, because your phone is not really powerful enough to run full applications. So you run these kind of bite-sized programs on this kind of tiny screen with a little bit of memory. So that's your phone interface. And that makes sense on a phone, because your phone is not very powerful and it's not very big. So you can't really multitask on a phone. And then Microsoft, which has always been a little bit stupid, in my opinion, they turned that and they put that into Windows 8, and they expect people to use that as the main interface on a PC. I mean, some people have massive screens, like my screen is 15 inches, and it's 1080p, right? That's a big screen. It's not a phone screen, it's a big screen. Some people have bigger screens than I do. And so you don't need massive buttons on the screen that big. You only need massive buttons on your phone because your finger is the same size as those buttons when it's on your phone, right? I should keep playing. This one's pretty difficult too. This is pretty awesome. This is like a McLaren Roadster. Look at this thing. Can we show info?
By Gordon Murray, the McLaren F1 held the record for the fastest production car in the world for 7 years. There may be faster cars, but the McLaren F1 is still the fastest naturally aspirated production car, with a speed of 240 miles per hour set on March 31st, 1998. Weighing only 1,140 kilograms and incorporating a specially built 6.1-liter V12 from BMW, the McLaren F1 is able to achieve speeds of 240 miles per hour due to its refined aerodynamics and incredible attention to detail. With no power steering or assisted braking, the car demands a lot from its driver, but will also reward them with a unique driving experience. There are a lot of unique features for the McLaren F1 that are added, purely for their focus on driver and performance, like the central seating position, gold leaf-lined engine bay, this was for heat dissipation. Only 64 of the standard road-going version were made, which has pushed the price of owning one upwards of twice the original asking price.
Awesome. So this is a pretty cool car. Anyway, what was the thing? So I mean, they took this interface, which was originally designed for phones and maybe tablets, and they tried to push it onto desktops, which is kind of dumb. Like, I don't need massive buttons. I have a mouse. I can, you know, we play FPSs. You know, we play. I used to play Quake 2, and I would railgun a guy that's like only 4 pixels big on the other side of the map, and I'd kind of headshot the guy with a railgun. I can do that if I want to, because we're gamers. You know, we can hit 4 pixels if we want to hit 4 pixels. All right, we don't need massive buttons. That's like, I don't know, 12 inches on the screen. We don't need that. So I don't know. Like, if you put that interface on the phone or even a relatively small tablet, that's kind of fine. I just don't know why they thought it would be a good idea on a PC. Like, that's just dumb, man. So I don't know. The Metro interface, that's my problem. And I mean, I'm pretty late to the party. I'm sure everyone else has already said this kind of stuff already. But you know, it's quite obvious to me what the problem was there. Alright, let's just kind of focus on driving this thing because there's no power steering and no assisted braking, and therefore demands a lot from the driver. Alright, here we go. So whoa, hey, yeah, no, okay, no power steering. Not that I would know, I'm using a keyboard. Is there a power keyboard? Oh, also, this particular track has all sorts of hairpin turns, which is pretty amazing. Also, it's quite picturesque. See, the problem with me in driving is that I just look at the background and then I crash the car. So I'm kind of easily distracted by pretty things. I mean, look at that snow, it's amazing, and then I missed the turn. Oh, there's a car there. Ah, that was his fault. I'm pretty sure that was his fault, that was not my fault. Look at this lens flare from the sun, look at that thing. That's amazing. Is that a... There's like an annular rain... Oh, that's like a sun bow. See that? There's like a rainbow around the sun, do you see that? Usually you get that when there's like moisture in the air. And basically the light is reflecting off the moisture in the air. And I think you get that like in cold areas too, because there's like ice crystals in the air, and so you can kind of form rainbows that way. I should use the nitro a bit more. Alright, so... Oh, and the Lenovo... The computer is a little bit... Okay, that's bad. I'm gonna fail this race. That was that was not what I intended. Oh crap. And then they put you straight into a turn. So the Lenovo is a little bit strange. So here's the story, right? So I got the computer, plugged it in, turned it on, and they told me there's no operating system. Which is odd. I mean, so I figured, well, maybe did I do something wrong? So I look at the instructions. No, you just turn it on and it's supposed to work. And so then, you know, I go into the settings and have a look around the settings. I couldn't find anything wrong. And you know, as I do this, kind of reboot it, and then nope, still no operating system. And then after a while, I haven't changed anything because I can't figure out what to change. And then suddenly, after another reboot, oh hey, welcome to Windows 8. And I haven't changed anything at all. I've just rebooted it like 3 or 4 times, and then all of a sudden it decided that there was Windows 8 after all. So that's strange, right? And it wasn't just the first time too, because I talk about changing the hard drives on this thing. And so, you know, after I changed the hard drive, eventually it got to work right. So then I, you know, copied data over and I changed the hard drive, and then I kind of, after I extracted the recovery drive, which is another story. So I kind of put in the new hard drive, put in a... Oh, I failed. I failed the gold already because of the crash, probably. So I put in the new hard drive, install Windows 8 onto the new hard drive, and the same thing happened. Like I start the computer, it says, "Oh, you have no operating system," and I thought, well, maybe I installed it wrong, right? I don't know. So I looked at it, I couldn't figure out anything wrong. So then I kind of rebooted it, and then it's the same thing. You have no operating system. And then okay, I looked at the settings again. I go back to the recovery thing, and I looked at what's going on. No, it seems right. I don't understand. Like, you know, the files are there. And then I rebooted again. And then it says, "Oh, hey, welcome to Windows 8. Welcome to Windows 8." And I didn't change anything. It just rebooted 3 times, and then it just works. So why didn't it work the first time? I don't understand. But you know, there you go. There you go. What else? Oh yeah, so extracting the recovery drive. Apparently Windows 8 doesn't use DVDs anymore. Like, it uses a thumb drive, a USB drive, a USB flash drive, 16 gigabytes at least, to do that. So I didn't know that. I did need a DVD drive anyway, because I have an Microsoft Office DVD, and the computer didn't have a DVD drive. So in the end I bought an external DVD drive, because the internal DVD drive, because it's a laptop, it's a Lenovo laptop, and like the old IBM laptops, you can like swap out the DVD drive. So I have like 2 hard drives in here. I should use the afterburner or the nitro. So you can. So instead of the DVD drive, I have a hard drive there, and so I figured, well, maybe I can just swap out the hard drive for the DVD, but that thing didn't actually work because they put the two hard drives into a RAID 0 arrangement, so that you actually needed both drives in the system for the drives to work at all. So I couldn't just take out a drive, put in a DVD, and then copy stuff over, because then the other hard drive would just not work, because half the drive has been taken out. So that wasn't very good. So in the end, I'm returning the internal drive that I bought, which was completely useless anyway. In the end, it just seems like the external drive is just better. Whoa, wrong button. That's the wrong button. Alright, that's fine. We can recover. So I bought an external DVD drive, and then apparently in Windows 7 you could make recovery DVDs. In Windows 8 you make a recovery USB thumb drive. So I didn't have that, so I went and bought one of those for 16 gigabytes, that's fine. So after running around, going back and forth between the shop and back home, I finally got all the components I needed, and I made the recovery thumb drive and I used that, that's fine. So yeah, Windows 8, I guess I should have... Well, that's not what I planned to do. So I guess I should have done the research beforehand. But I thought Windows 7 DVD, Windows 8, sure, Windows DVD, why not? Nope, thumb drive, alright. So that's another thing, another bit of adventure. No, wait, don't do that. What else? Cloning the hard drives? Because what I wanted was... Okay, so, my old computer, it came with 300 gigabyte hard drives, two of them. Two 300 gigabyte hard drives, and they're like 4 years old at this point. And a little while ago, I bought two 1 terabyte solid state hybrid drives by Seagate, and those things are pretty cool. And I put those into my old computer because, I wanted to upgrade it and I needed more space to record videos and whatnot. Whoa, frame rate issues. So, fail. Maybe I can... No, I can't do that. Alright, so I really need to push this car to get the gold on this race. I think this might be my fastest time yet, though. I need to use the nitro more. Like a lot more. Yeah, this is going to be my fastest time yet, but still not enough. So, yeah, so cloning hard drives is I don't know why it's so difficult. The thing is, like, sometimes it doesn't work. Like you just do it and then the computer won't boot for some odd reason. So that took me like a couple of days to figure out, and obviously you have to transfer the information over. So I swapped out the 1 terabyte drives. Wait, what is this? Whoa! Hey! $1.2 million this car costs. Let's go for a free drive. Control. Yeah, so I had to swap those out, put the original 300 gigabyte drives back in, and then put the 1 terabyte drives in the new computer, because the new computer, I could have gotten better hard drives, but I got two... Wait a minute. Oh, this is the Hyper... I don't want the Hyper series. Back. Exotic. I want to drive the new car, see how this thing is. No, that one's I've driven before. This one? That one. That's the new one. Huh, I've unlocked quite a few of these. These are pretty cool. This one is pretty cool. Let's have a go with this one. 349 kilometers per hour. That's pretty good. It's got no windshield though. That seems pretty bad for driving a fast car. Like the wind is just kind of blasting your face and all sorts of bugs are just kind of hitting your face. That seems like a really bad idea for a car that goes fast. Like, is there seriously no windshield? Yeah, there's no windshield. That's terrible. Alright, I'm gonna turn around. Wait, how do I turn around? I'm gonna turn around. Yep, I'm gonna turn around. What was I saying? Yeah, cloning hard drive. So now I'm on the new computer now, as you can tell by the nice frame rates on this racing game. Well, 20 frames a second is not that bad, right? On maximum graphics settings on this thing. So I've got two 1TB drives. Yeah, so this computer game came with two 500GB drives. And so I changed that for two 1TB solid state hybrid drives, which is better. But the inside of the Lenovo PC is kind of terrifying. There's tape everywhere. Tape. Like, oh crap. Like there's stuff held together by tape. Or maybe it's not really held together, but some of it is held together by tape. But other bits, there's like kind of tape lining the edges to I don't know, stop things from falling apart. Tape. And the things, like the pieces don't fit together all that well. Like, I mean, it's everything works, it's just kind of scary, the fact that it's held together by tape. I don't know, I feel like they're skimping on the manufacturing and the design a little bit. It feels a little bit like it's jury-rigged together from I don't know, stuff. So I guess that's why it's cheap. That's why it's cheaper than... Okay, I'm not paying attention to the driving. I guess that's why it's cheaper than the alternative, which was Dell. I looked at the other one, and it was pretty much the same specs, except this graphics card is better, like significantly better, for about the same price. So then I bought this one instead. 3 Points Road. This is a fairly narrow but fairly fast road, and the ground is wet, so let me just pay attention here. Yeah, so there's like tape holding stuff together, man. And then I don't even know. But actually changing the components is kind of easy. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. So in the old PC, the Dell PC, there's like 4 screws holding each hard drive into a frame thing, and then another 4 screws holding each frame into the computer. So there's like 8 screws. Every time I missed that turn. So every time you want to change a hard drive, you have to replace like 8 screws. So that's pretty solid, 8 screws. With this thing, there's like 4 screws. I mean, there's 1. My bad. So with this thing, you then remove 1 screw, you pull it out, and that's it. So I guess you save money on a few screws. I don't know if it's a good thing or not that it's so easy to remove. So yeah. I don't know. Well, I don't intend to drop this thing very much or to throw it around like a frisbee or anything, so hopefully everything will stay assembled and not fall apart on me. But I can kind of see why this thing is cheaper than the Dell. Hope Canyon Freeway. I like this part of the game. Like the freeway kind of splits up into 2 halves. Well, it does later on, you'll see it. And you're going through this canyon, which is kind of pretty. And in fact, on high graphics settings, it's a lot prettier because there's more foliage on the trees. I really should pay attention to the road, but I'm just looking at the trees right now. So yeah, the inside of this Lenovo PC is kind of scary. But then, everything works. Everything works, and amazingly, there's 4 slots for RAM. Like whereas in the Dell, this is the 15-inch laptop. The Dell is a 17-inch laptop. Although the Dell does have 2 hard drives and a DVD-ROM, whereas this has 1 drive and then 1 DVD, or you can put a hard drive in the space for the DVD. So there's like 3 drives on the other computer, and then only 2 drives on this one. So I guess that's where the space is. But what's the max speed on this car? Oh, there we go. So, but then there's like 4 slots for RAM. So I've got like 18 gigabytes of RAM. But because there's 4 slots, it's like 4 sticks of 4 gigabytes each, which is it's not that expensive. It's when you get to like 2 sticks of 8 gigabytes, that's when the RAM starts getting really expensive. So I managed to get a lot of RAM on this computer for a relatively low price because it's got like space for 4 sticks of RAM. So there's some interesting design decisions on this laptop. And whereas on the Dell, it's like a 17-inch laptop, but there's still only space for 2 sticks of RAM. which is odd. Also, I think in the new computer, the graphics card is like underneath the left side hand rest, which is not a good thing for gamers, because for gamers we're always doing WASD, right? So your left hand is always there, and then the graphics card is right there, so it gets kind of hot. So I mean, it's good in winter. I guess it keeps my hand warm in winter. But maybe it's not a. Well, I mean, it's not scorching. It's just kind of warm right now. Yeah, it's gotta be nice in winter. My hands get cold, There's like a heater right underneath my left hand. That's good. What else do I have to say? Not very much, really. Maybe I should stop recording and just make sure that I can process the audio properly. I'm just looking at my notes and trying to drive at the same time. Don't do this in real life. I'm speeding and looking away from the screen. Oh, so Steam is pretty amazing. So Steam has this backup tool where you can back up your games. So the idea is you back up your games, copy the backup files over, and then restore from backup. And so then you can kind of transfer your games from one computer to another without downloading them from the internet again. Which is good, because I think I have like 200 gigs worth of games or something. But that doesn't work. That doesn't actually work. Because it will stop after about 40 gigs. It will just kind of stop, and then it won't continue the backup. So, but what you can do is just copy the folders over. It works for most games, but some of them you have to tell it to delete the local files, which it doesn't do, and then you download it again, and then it recognizes the files that are already there, and then that's done. So it doesn't download anything, and then you can play the game. So for some games you just copy the files over and they'll just work. Some of them, when you try to play them, it says files are missing, so you say delete local files, right, and then reinstall it. But it doesn't delete, and it doesn't re-download. It just kind of recognizes the games that 10 frames a second. I wonder what's going on. There are certain lag spikes. Yeah, so it just kind of recognizes it. So Steam's pretty good. So in the end, I didn't really have to download anything. I think I downloaded like 1 or 2 games again. I don't know whether I made a mistake copying them over or if it just didn't really work. But for the vast majority of the games I had, I just kind of copied the folders straight over, and there it was, and everything worked. So that was good. Interesting to know. Skyrim looks great on ultra graphics settings. I might finally do an architecture of Skyrim video series, but no, I won't actually. I shouldn't promise that. What I want to do is to play through Skyrim again on the high graphics settings, because I realized that things actually look significantly different. I don't know. Like, if you don't pay attention to detail, then they don't. But like, the textures have a lot of detail in them, and so things actually make more sense when you can see that detail sometimes. Like, you can see the carvings on the wall and things like that. So I think I might have to play through that again, so it'll be like my 4th or 5th time playing through the game. I don't know if I should play it on maximum difficulty, because I enjoy playing it on legendary difficulty, but it takes a long time. I might just play it on a lower difficulty and just be a tourist, and then I might do the architecture of Skyrim. Like, the game is so big and so complex that I really want to do it right, and I want to make sure that I've seen the architecture enough, that I get enough of the good points across. And there are a lot of good points to say about the architecture in Skyrim. So yeah, that game looks great on high graphics settings. I haven't really tried that many games. Like, this game looks much better, and it plays much better when you have double the frame rates. Like, the driving is a lot easier. The thing with the this is difficult. Fox Layer Pass. It's narrow and curvy. But like, turns like this you couldn't do at 10 frames a second. The thing is, like, you press turn, and the car won't respond for like half a second. And then by the time it responds, you're oversteering. and so you can't turn properly when you're at low frame rates. But right now I'm having a great time. Let me just use the nitro a bit more. Practice that. Try not to crash into that car. What else is there to say? Maybe I shouldn't ramble on too much, because I mean, it's not that interesting. So hopefully, so I just finished copying all the files over. Then this is the first video I'm making on the new computer, just to test things out and work out the workflow for rendering the files and all that, and reprocessing them and getting the audio right. So hopefully all of this is gonna process through. If it doesn't work, then I'm just kind of rambling for, I don't know, half an hour for no reason. But yeah, cloning hard drives it's kind of finicky. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like, I have 3 different methods of doing it, and I swear, like, the one that worked last time did not work at all this time. And the one that didn't work last time worked perfectly this time, just smooth as anything. And so you don't really know why it works and it doesn't work. There were bad sectors on the old hard drive. I don't know if they were genuine bad sectors or if it was something else. Because you rescan the disk and it's not, the bad sectors aren't there, or they've shuffled over and then moved or whatever. But it's possible that the old C drive on the old computer is going to fail at any moment. I don't know. It seems perfectly fine to me. But there's bad sectors, and the bad sectors really get in the way of you cloning the partition. But I got through all that. If anyone's interested, I might leave a comment and I might kind of just give you my knowledge of how to do it. I'm not going to promise anything because, as I said, even for me it sometimes works and it sometimes doesn't work, so I don't know what's going on really. Except eventually I got it to work. Whoa, what are these cars doing? They just stopped. Did you see that? What other things are there? No, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it. So this is obviously a 64-bit computer now. The old computer was a 32-bit Vista computer. Minecraft runs fairly smoothly, although I couldn't get shaders to work. But aside from that, I can run at full screen at decent frame rates. I haven't played with it all that much yet, but it's pretty smooth. I don't know if I want to run Minecraft at higher resolutions, just because it's Minecraft and it's kind of giant pixels anyway, so I don't know why you want to see giant pixels with less pixels or with more pixels. I don't know. Like, it's just strange. Like with other games, like with Skyrim, yeah, you want a high resolution because it looks good. Minecraft is still Minecraft. I don't know. I'll probably will most of the time or some of the time. The problem is that I don't know. I'm sure I can figure it out. I'm sure I can figure it out. So yeah. So I'll probably do Minecraft at high resolutions. Oh, there's day and night in this game too. So if you keep driving, it turns from day to night, which is cool. Oh, usually there's like songs. Usually instead of me talking, you'd have songs. But I'm pretty sure those songs are copyrighted, and I don't want to get copyright strikes on my videos. So we're not listening to the songs. We're just listening to me talk. And I'm not gonna sing. The songs are kind of cool, but there's not that many of them. So after a while, they just kind of repeat and get a bit boring. I'm not a huge fan of racing games, but sometimes you just want to zone out and just kind of dumb down and not do anything intelligent, and so you just kind of drive and drive and drive. And you can speed in game, and you don't crash a real car, which is good, because crashing a real car is expensive. And I'm doing a lot better. I'm doing it really well now. You should have seen me playing on the old computer at 10 frames a second. I crash into everything. So yeah, low frame rates does not help driving. Definitely. Like, look at this. Smooth. Okay, I failed that one. I flinched. I saw the car coming and I flinched, and then we crashed. A little bit. I guess I don't really have that much else to say about swapping moving all the files over. what should I do now that I have a new computer? I talked about an architecture series, Architecture of Skyrim, which won't be soon, but I want to do it because Skyrim is a pretty cool game. I talked about obviously higher resolution Minecraft. I probably will do that. Should I turn? Let's turn. Oh, this is Eagle Crest Road again. Hold on. Let me just get back on the road. Oh, there you go. Hey, look at that rain. What other things should I do now that I have a new computer? Oh, Mass Effect is completely recorded. So if you're following that series, you won't see the Mass Effect on new computer. I might actually just play it myself on the new computer, just to see if there's any difference. So unfortunately, it'll be kind of low frame rates and low graphics for that series. The Assassin's Creed series, I've recorded until the end of Assassin's Creed 2, and then I stopped because that's gonna take a while to upload. I know it's a bit strange. Like I play all these. Okay. Like I just kind of play these games and I record like several hundred videos, and then I kind of take a year to upload them. I don't know if that's strange to you guys or not, but the thing is, like, you know, when I play a game, I don't want to lose track of it. So then I just want to keep playing it until I finish, because if I just kind of leave it for a few weeks and then come back to it, I forget things. I don't want to do that. But then, you know, I don't want to upload like 20 hours of video in one day, or you know, I don't want to kind of upload 100 hours of footage in like a week and just kind of finish the whole game, which is that's kind of weird too. So I end up, like, you know, like the Mass Effect series, I know it's a bit odd me recording that much ahead of time, but then I don't want to lose track of the story, so I just want to finish it. But then I can't really just kind of upload like 80 hours of footage within a few weeks. That's kind of strange too. I don't know, maybe some of you want it, but then I'll just be spamming your inbox with a lot of videos then, which is probably not good. So anyway, so Assassin's Creed, up to the end of Assassin's Creed 2 has already been recorded, so you won't see the new computer until Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. After Siberia, there's a game called Antichamber. It's a puzzle game which is pretty good. You should play it. It's probably like Portal level good, and Portal is like the best puzzle game ever. So it's pretty good. Antichamber. It is not actually, no, it's not quite as polished as Portal, but the puzzles are really, really good. So Antichamber I highly recommend if you're into puzzle games. I can't see where I'm going, it's too dark. So that's going to be coming after Siberia, and then I have to figure out what to record next. Probably some sort of atmospheric story-based game. Probably Anna. I don't know if you guys heard of that one. I don't even know what that is. I know it's story-based. I know it's atmospheric. That's about it. Some pretty screenshots. I haven't actually. So I haven't really talked about this, but with my kind of game playing, I have a certain strategy, I guess you'd call it. So I would. Like I might do like 1 or 2 major series, which is, you know, Assassin's Creed and Mass Effect. Like those are kind of big games, big AAA titles. So I'll do some of those, and then I have an ongoing, like an indie or lesser known game series. So I usually like pair one well-known game with one indie game, and then Minecraft as well. But right now I'm doing kind of Assassin's Creed and Mass Effect, right? But the indie games like Octodad, which is awesome. So, you know, that's like Siberia is a lesser known game. Antichamber is kind of lesser known. It's kind of indie. So there's like kind of mainstream, and then not mainstream, and then Minecraft. That's kind of it. Well, that's kind of the basic idea. I might kind of just switch things up a little bit every now and then. So yeah, so after Siberia there's Siberia 2, and then there's Antichamber. And then I have a bunch of stuff coming up. I might just do more indie stuff because I'm kind of collecting a bit of a backlog, to be honest. Like a kind of a growing list of games that I want to play, and they're usually not very long, the indie games. So I don't know. We'll see how things go. All right, I really should stop talking now because I don't really have much else to say. But leave a comment if you have a question. I don't know if you guys want to see more racing games. I don't know if I want to play more of this. Or I don't want to. I don't know. I don't know. If you really want to, I can make more videos of this game as well. Me trying and failing to win races. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever it is. Probably the next thing on the new computer would be a Minecraft video. Alright, I'll see you guys.